How you doing? And welcome to Neither Real Music. I'm Ed. This is Just Play It, our series dedicated to learning songs and experimenting with them. If you've been following along, we've been working on In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning by Bob Hilliard and David Mann. This song was made famous by Frank Sinatra. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe, ring the bell so you know when your next lesson is coming. I'd really like to grow this channel for jazz lovers, and every subscription helps. In this video, we're going to be looking at the last measures of this song. This is a second ending, so we will be including measures 13 and 14, which we learned in our last video, and then proceeding to measures 17, 18, 19, and 20. A second ending is an idea that is used after you've repeated the whole song one time. So in our last video, we looked at our first ending. At the end of that video, technically you would go back to the beginning of the song and play the entire song. And when you got to the part that it said first ending, you would be skipping that and going right to the second ending. So let's take a quick review of measures 13 and 14 from our last video, and then we'll dive right in to our second ending. So in measures 13 and 14, we started with our D minor 7 chord. We went to a D sharp diminished 7, then to an E minor 7, and then an A7. This idea gave us that really nice chromatic change. Then to a fifth. So one more time, D minor 7, D sharp diminished 7, E minor 7, to A7. So this brings us right to measure 19. This is a D minor 7 that we're going to hold for 4 beats. And now we get a really interesting chord, A flat 7, flat 5. This is a 4-note chord because each one of the notes in this chord at this point is now essential. So I can't get rid of anything. A flat 7, flat 5 contains the notes A flat, our note D, then to our note F sharp or G flat, and then to C. So A flat, 4th fret of our 6th string, D, 5th fret of our 5th string, F sharp or G flat, 4th fret of our 4th string, and then I like to use my pinky on our 5th fret of our 3rd string C. From here, we're just going to go to a regular G7, then to a C6 to end our song. Now this C6 rings for 8 beats, so I'm just going to let it ring until it dies. So if we put all of those ideas together, it would sound like this. D minor 7, D sharp diminished 7, E minor 7, to A7. D minor 7. If you leave your pinky and your 3rd finger down, you can build your A flat 7, flat 5 pretty easy by leaving those ones right to where they are and not moving them. G7, C6. Okay, so as you go through these changes, I've mentioned this in the past, always look for where you can keep fingers on their strings, little trains on the track. Try not to move them too much. Every time you take your hand completely off of the guitar to find something, it's like starting over again. You really have to look at the guitar and rely on feel and your ear to determine where you are. If you keep your fingers in place and don't let them come off of the strings very often, you could feel the frets underneath your fingers, and usually that's how higher level players gauge where they are on the instrument. Let's take a look at this with a little bit of time and a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try that with a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this takes us through all of the different chords in the song. What we're going to be doing next is I'm going to be playing the entire song for you to follow along with its first ending and its second ending, so that you have something to practice. We'll do it with time, and then you'll see it with a tab. If there's any part of this song that is difficult, remember that I broke this down into its 4 measure components, basically following the phrasing of the song. So work out each section as if it were its own sentence, its own phrase. You can also play along with the Frank Sinatra version of this song, and your chords will blend right in. I really hope lessons like this are helping you. If you find something like this interesting and you want to learn more, subscribe and ring the bell. If you're really interested in getting in depth with this knowledge, please consider joining my Patreon. If you have questions, please put them in the comments below. Compliments are nice, but questions let me know you're working on these things. Good luck and good practice.